So we talk about business consultation, right? So what does consultation mean to you? Can anybody just share with me so that we are in line with our thoughts? Maybe we start with Charu.
Consultation to provide certain advice related to certain topics that is being discussed.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Charu. Alan, would like to share something about your understanding of consultation here?
It means seek advice or maybe get feedback from a certain challenge or a certain thing that you want to implement for something like that.
Very good. How about Michael? You did mention about consultation, right? What is your interpretation on consultation?
Providing advice, and also the first thing is listening. Second is providing advice.
Thank you, Michael. How about P? Can you share?
Okay. So, can you hear me?
And now loud and clear. Thank you. Finally.
Yes. So consultant for me is that we research and then we see the real situation and then we do some advice or suggestion. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see. What's the role of a internal consultant, right? we want to be a good internal consultant for our company. Basically, we give advice. Okay, advice to our stakeholders, and our stakeholders will be more than your boss, your peers, your subordinates, or the staff in general, and so forth and so forth. And then we partner with our leaders to meet the business objective. And this is how we show value as a business partner, right? So we partner with them. That is, earlier we mentioned about how to build we need to build connection with them. We need to know about the business and so forth. And finally, more importantly, how can we measure our success as a consultant? Because with no, what gets managed gets measured, right? So how do we know that we are a good consultant? How do we measure it? Okay, so let's move on. So as a good consultant, we need to have especially in HRBP, right? We serve as a consultant to the company. What are competencies that we should possess in order to be a consultant? Anybody can share some of it? Maybe have Michael, you want to say something?
Sorry, Rita, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
The question is, what are the competencies that we need to process in order for us to be a good internal consultant for the company?
In-depth knowledge of HR, so that we can be a consultant of, and also in-depth knowledge of the business itself as well, and also business outcomes.
Yeah, knowledge, our own knowledge and the business knowledge, right? Okay, good. And then what else? Anybody can share? P, you would like to say something? P, like to say something about the competencies that we should possess to be a effective internal consultant of a company. Michael shared about business acumen, right, and also your HR knowledge. How about P? Anything to share? Can you hear me? Maybe it's again technical issue. How about Charu? Anything to share?
Just now, some of them actually mentioned a little bit about data analytics, having certain insights in the market, or things that is happening around us, so that we can use all these information and insights to actually add certain value in the discussion in itself to spice out the conversation, and also maybe the coaching part. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so it seems that Charu is a big fan of coaching. Huh? You mentioned coaching a few times. Yes, absolutely. Business insight, be a good coach to the company. And Ellen, would like to add on?
Based from, I think, communication. Like effective communication among the leaders, and then maybe you are in the process of helping in the decision-making process, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Help in the decision-making process. Okay, so these are the competencies for an effective consultant, which is also applicable because at HRBP we need to play our consultancy role, right? So these are the competencies that we need to possess in order to be an effective HRBP. Strong, as Michael mentioned, strong business acumen. We need to know about the business. Just the example of the training. If I don't know about the business, how can we earn? What is our business model? How do we earn our money? There's no way that we can link our work to the business result. Okay, financial literacy. We need to, as I mentioned, right? Oh, how do we earn our money? And it's an effective HRBP. We need to know how to read some of the financial statements. Oh, this is how we earn our profit. Oh, okay. If that's the case, maybe we need to control our costs in that area in order for us to achieve more profits and so forth. So we need to have financial literacy. And then coaching skills, as Charu mentioned, data analysis skills. Nowadays, we talk about HR analytics, right? So how to we use our data to help us to make wise decisions. I think a lot of departments in my company, we focus a lot on data analysis. Every month, we need to do a lot of analysis in order to show to our customers whether we are in line with them, whether we are able to meet their KPI. Because we also have KPI set by our customers to us. And every month, we need to read a lot of data to support us to show the KPI, whether we can achieve it or not. So for human resources, I believe that we have a lot of different data. Like in recruitment, we can measure the lead time that we will hire someone, which recruitment channel is the most effective one, and how long does the recruitment process take. And when it comes to staff engagement, people use a survey or other means and tools. When it comes to learning and development, company we measure its hours and also, as I mentioned, how do we measure its effectiveness, whether it will make impact to the company result after the training and so forth. We need to come up with a lot of different analysis. We have a lot of data, but we also need to make the data meaningful to the company. That's why we need to have this kind of data analytical skills. Okay, so yeah. And then change agent, as Michael mentioned, we need to know how to drive. We may not be the one who drive the change, but we have to work together with departments to facilitate the change. Okay, well, of course, we need to have the management support in order to perform any change in the company. So we need to do change agent. And then talent development skills. As a company, how can we sustain our growth? We need to develop talents. Besides attracting them working for us, we also need to develop them. So with all these skills, basically we have each module of this course, HRBP, to cover it. We have the module about the business acumen, and we have module about financial literacy. And we also have module that is the current module about coaching skills. Data analytics skills, we have a module on HR analytics, HR matrix, and we have a module on change management. And also we have a module on talent development skills. So we have covered all this in order for all of you to take all this knowledge on board and then practice it in your own organization so that you can perform as an effective HRBP. Okay, I think practice, take them on board, take action is the key. Okay, so let's move on the coaching skills that we are going to share a lot on this. Okay, so I think coaching, mentoring, even counseling, we heard of these kind of terms, these terms for many times. So can anybody tell me what's the difference between mentoring and coaching? And I know that some of you have joined the mentoring program at HHRM. So what is your interpretation on the difference between these two? Maybe we have Charu, right? Charu, you have joined the mentoring program and you are the mentee. Okay, so can you tell me the difference between these two?
I think for mentoring, basically it's like someone who is more experienced, who may have gone through like similar like experiences, like sharing some of the insights and like some of the learning points as the conversation takes place between the mentor and the mentee. But for coaching, I think it's more of trying to help the coachee come up with their own solutions. Yeah, rather than like providing the advice. In the event of the conversation, I think the coach may not be the subject matter expert, but rather to actually facilitate that conversation and like to ask the right questions, and also to like like together like explore certain like opportunities or like solutions, or even like how do we bring to the next step to achieve certain goals. Yeah.
Wow, spot on. Yeah, very true, very true. Basically for mentor, right? They are very experienced in the area, and they will be able to give advice to the mentee on how to work things out. For coaching, the subject is the coachee, not the coach. And all the answers are within the coachee. So the coach is just helping the coaches to come up with their own options, ideas, and then finally the action plan. Okay, that's very good. That's the difference between these two. So we are not going to drill further on the difference between these two. Talk about the benefits for mentees, for employees. I think it's very everybody can see it fosters one's growth, especially in a coaching session. A lot of times coaching wants to link it to their career goal. Say, for example, from now on, I really want to be at this position in 1 or 2 years' time. So they work together with the coach on how they can arrive at the level. So in a coaching session, it helps them to foster one's growth. And the other one is feel respected. Why do we say that feel respected? Because we value their advice. We listen to them. We use active listening. And at the same time, the answers are within themselves. So they feel respected because everything actually is from them. Hang on now. Hang on. Okay, it's just not my battery is very low. Okay, so that's why they feel respected. And lastly will be they are more motivated to do it because instead of having you to tell them, this is the way to go, this is how they do it, they might not be convinced because this is your way of doing it, may not be applicable to them. So a lot of times when you talk about the benefits for employees, right? It helps them to grow. Even for some of the coaching sessions, we talk about their difficulties, some of the disciplinary issues. So basically, we help them to solve the problem so that they can move forward with the growth, and they feel respected because we don't give them answers. The answers within them, and also motivate them to tell us more because we ask them for more options instead of, again, we don't give them advice. Okay. So how about as benefits for coaches as a coach, right? What are the benefits for us? Because now we get the collaborative approach, meaning that we do it together towards the same goal, but the goal actually is the goal of the coachee. We are helping them to achieve their goal, but we do it together. Okay, and then of course, when you conduct a coaching session, in your first session, usually you don't know him or he doesn't know you, right? If in that situation, trust needs to be established. Relationship also needs to be established, especially if I'm having a series of a coaching session with that person, with your employee or even with friends or whoever. You need to build a relationship for them in order for them to tell you more. That's why in a coaching is also a relationship. The closer that you are with the coachee, he or she will be more willing to share with you. By sharing more with you, you're able to establish trust with them. and also relationship. And subsequently, since they tell you more, so it will also help to drive the result. Okay. So again, it's relationship building. Coaching is relationship building. Of course, increase our accountability, because a lot of times towards the end of the coaching session, the coach will ask, will follow up with the coachee on when they will sit together again to review the whole process, right? So this is also the accountability of the coach to do a good follow-up and to work together with the coachee on achieving his or her result. And also a lot of times we need greater creativity with come with a much better, more powerful questions. And it's a rewarding job. Put money aside. If you see somebody achieve their goal, you also have the sense of satisfaction. This is something I think is more rewardable of getting money and so forth, because this is the pleasure and also the joy that you can experience from your heart. And of course, finally, you help them to elevate your career. You also help yourself to be better, to be a better coach, because the more practice that you do, the better result that you can get. Okay, so we can also see the benefits of being a coach. So in this coaching session, don't be afraid to be a coach, because to be a coach, you're really helping your coachee to achieve something bigger. At the same time, you're achieving something bigger for yourself. Okay? And then how about benefits for the company? I think it's very clear, right? In a business context, you help them employees to achieve more in terms of their productivity, and also engage them more, and also increase their retention. And in the end, it will also help them to improve their improvements. Okay? So then, of course, if you coach leaders, right? Sometimes if you are able to, you coach a lot of people, and when it comes to coaching a leader, it's a bit different from the general stuff, okay? Because for a leader, they might want to go for something short-term or long-term. But actually it also applies to your coachee. If the coachee want to do something on a long-term basis, then you have to cope with their long-term goal. But in between, you set milestones along the way so as to help them to achieve their long-term goal. So along the way, you might have to set some short-term goal that could be monthly goals or quarterly goals in order for them to achieve their long-term goal. Okay. And again, as I mentioned, coaching is not transactional. It's a kind of relationship. Okay. So a lot of time, no matter what role that you are playing, you need to be a good connector. We need to use the active listening skills to listen to your coachee. And of course, in the first session, you also to make it clear to the coachee that everything that's shared in the room, stay with the room. You are not going to disclose anything outside the room. Without that, nobody will tell you anything. And this is how we establish our trust. Okay? And sometimes in a coaching session, it can be formal or informal. It really depends on the substance itself. Sometimes when your coaches tell you something about their friends or family, they want to go for an informal way instead of in a business context, a supervisor being a coach, and then the coachee is the sort of the problematic employee, then they might go for a formal way. Whichever works the best. I always believe that, because we are always result-oriented, right? So, and again, as we mentioned, no answers to be provided by the coach. The answers are within the coachee. Okay, but coaching is not applicable to all the situation. Can anybody share with me under what circumstances should coaching not the good option? Anybody can share with me? We cannot use coaching on all circumstances. Can anybody share with me under what circumstances do we not use coaching? Anyone?
Disciplinary problems.
Big problems. For big problems, we should not use coaching? Is that what you mean?
Disciplinary problems.
Disciplinary problem, we should not use coaching? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so how about the others? Any views on that? Coaching is not applicable to everything. Anyone? Give a guess, like Charu. Under what circumstances? Give a guess.
I don't know, but I just feel like not every situation can use coaching, especially if the person, take for example, the person is new to the organization, don't know the ropes to go around, and like you keep prompting coaching questions, hey, come out with your solution yourself, then the person will feel very helpless.
Yeah, I think, that you are right, right. Especially the coach, he doesn't know what sort of goal that he want to achieve in the coaching session, right? So we just go round and round and round. We don't know what the destination is. But actually, in a lot of circumstances that we should not use coaching under some of these. Say, for example, if I have some technical issues, I don't know how to use Excel. How can I use coaching to solve your problem? Okay, for some of the technical challenges, we go for training. We don't go for coaching. Coaching is more about personal issues, okay? Like actually disciplinary action. If we have some disciplinary issues, coaching works very well. Because it's let the coachee accept the current situation. We are going to go through the framework later. So there is a few steps that we have to follow in the framework in order for the coachee to come with the action item. Okay. So remember, for some of this technical stuff, we cannot use coaching. It's difficult for you to tell them, okay, step number 1, you have to press this button. Step number 2, you will see this worksheet and so forth. Okay. So some of the technical support, you can use coaching. Okay. It's more about their own issues. Okay. Say, when we do coaching, we do have challenges. Say, for example, your coaches always tell you that, I don't have time. Sorry, I'm very busy. Especially for leaders, right? Oh, every day I work 12 hours. How could I give you time to coach me or to have a coaching session? It also applies to the coach. They might say that I'm very busy. I don't have time for you. Okay, so time, not enough time, okay, for those who are interested in coaching. But always believe that time is limited, whether you think this is important. If you don't think coaching is important, you will never give time for coaching. You will never prioritize it, so you don't have time, okay? And lack of formal training, of course, as in a coaching session, you need to use certain skills in order for the coachee to come up with their options and answers and even action items. So we need to, that's why we are having this session to get all of this kind of skills for us to conduct an effective coaching session. Okay. And sometimes sometimes you might be distracted by other roles, especially in a coaching session, right? We need to be really present. Your mind will not be drift off. So that's why it's focus. Your focus is on the coaching. We need to live in the present moment. So in coaching, we also have a lot of things to learn. We need to be focused. We need to be an active listener. Even as a leader, as a manager, we need to be an active listener. In coaching, you need to be an active listener. Otherwise, you're not able to get a lot of meaningful things out of it. And of course, when it comes to disciplinary action, you use coaching, you will get resistance from the problematic employees. They will think that it's nothing wrong with me. It's all the wrongs go to the company, goes to my manager. Okay, so in a coaching session, first and foremost, you later on we will letting the coachee accept the situation is very important. If they don't see that there are issues in it, they will never come up with options, not to mention action plan. Okay, so letting the coachee accept and acknowledge, especially in a discipline session, they need to accept it. Okay, they need to accept the current situation. Okay, And then move on would be coaching difficult employees, especially in a session whereby we need to tell the employees that this is something that they need to work on in order to improve their performance. And as a coachee, we always have to maintain a positive mindset. Don't always judge the person he's hopeless or what he says is prejudiced. So we need to have a positive mindset and don't be judgmental. Try to suspend judgments. Okay, and lastly, give them the benefit of doubt. Okay, questions so far? We have gone through benefits for each of party in a coaching session. Some of the hiccups in coaching difficult employees. Questions so far? If no, then we move on to the coaching framework. Okay. So in this I could say market or what? I think that there are lots of different coaching framework. We have Chief, Oscar, and Clear. And what I'm going to share with you is Grow model, which is the simplest, but it's also the most effective one. Okay, because I use it every day. Leaders and coaches, we use coaching on everyone. We don't need to use coaching in a formal coaching session. Of course, in a formal coaching session, you need to use this model. But in your daily conversation, if you're able to embody this model and then you use it as a habit, then you're able to win a lot of relationships and also help people solve their problems without being in a formal coaching session. Okay? Now, ready for this model, Grow model. Okay, anybody have ever heard of Grow model? You can have show of hands. Anyone? No, right? Okay, let me introduce to you this Grow model. Actually, it's an acronym of these 4 words. Okay, everything starts with the end in our mind. We need to know what we want to achieve. If in a coaching session, the coach has no idea on what I need to achieve, then don't go for this session because it's a waste of time for both of you. Okay, so wherever we do anything, we need to know what we want to achieve in the end. That means we need to have a goal, objective in mind. So firstly, in a coaching session, you need to define your goal, the goal of the coachee. Say, for example, in a session, of course, in the first one, you need to tell them very clearly what's shared here stays with the room, and you don't have to worry about the information that you're going to share with me will be leaked out. And some of the rules, you need to be very attentive, very engaged, and you go through this kind of sort of house rules. Then after that, you go to the model itself. That is, I want to know, what do you want to achieve at the end of this session? Okay, it can be something related to their long-term goal or 3 months goal, 4 months goal. Say, for example, even in a mentoring session, we also need the mentee to tell the mentor what sort of goal that they want to achieve in these 4 months. Same in a coaching session. Sometimes it will not be one-off. It can be a series of coaching sessions. So the goal could be something which they want to reach by in 3 months' time. Okay, so they need to know. They need to tell you what do they want to achieve. Say, for example, in a discipline session, you want to achieve with the goal of rectifying the behavior of this problematic employee. Say, for your employee is, make a very simple example, your employee is always late for work. So towards the end of the session, you really want the employee to know that this is something not be tolerated by the company. They need to admit that this is the mistake that they made, and then they count the options and also the solution. So at the end of the session, we always come with an action plan on how the employee is going to rectify the situation. Okay, so this is the goal. So if the goal is to tell the employee, to let the employee know that being late is no good, and also how does he rectify the situation, that's the goal. So that we won't see this behavior happen again. We don't want him to be late again. This is the goal that we want to achieve in this session, okay? So, but of course, when you set your goal, you have to smart, right? You need to measure, specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable. Also, we need to talk about the action plan, right? There's timeline in it. Okay, so when you set the goal, when the coachee has set the goal, it has to be smart, okay? And then once he or she has set the goal, we need to review this current situation. What is happening now? Okay, what has happening now? Which stopped the coachee achieving its goal? Okay, say for example, we just use the same example. Peter is always late for work. So the goal of this coaching session is to let Peter come up, admit it is no good, and then come with the action plan so that he will not, being late will not happen again. Okay, so this is the goal. The reality is, talk to Peter. Repeat, Peter, tell us what's happening now. What time do you go out to work? Do you live far from the company? How much time do you take in your commuting journey? You know about all this reality. Okay, and then based on all this reality, you come up. Let Peter admit that. Oh yeah, this is something I need to work on. And what has made me late? Oh, it's because I always wake up, our official hours at 9 o'clock, I always wake up at 8:30. But it takes me 45 minutes to go to work. So I wake up 8:30, 45 to go to work, not to mention the time that I need to brush my teeth, eat my breakfast before I'm ready to go out of my house. So we need to know the reality. What's the practice of Peter in the morning? Okay, so this is the reality. So now, Peter, you need to rectify the situation. What are the options which is possible for you to achieve the goal? Then Peter will come with the options like, okay, then I will wake up at 7 o'clock and half an hour, maybe 45 minutes for me to get ready to work. And then another 45 minutes on commuting, I still 15 minutes. The 15 minutes is the buffer. Okay, so Peter will come with all these options. One option is to wake up at 7 o'clock. Then we may come up with the other options like, oh, I can't wake up at 7 o'clock. It's too early for me because I usually sleep at 2 o'clock a.m. How can I wake up at 7 o'clock? Then he come with options that, oh, then I try to sleep at 11 o'clock, but not 2 o'clock. Then, you come up with different options, okay? So in the end, Peter will come up with the action plan. Of these options, which one is the best? The first one is, I wake up 7 o'clock, but I still sleep at 2 o'clock. The second option is I wake up 7 o'clock, but I sleep at 11 o'clock at night, so as to give me 8 hours or even 8 hours. 8 hours of sleeping out, 8 hours sleeping. Okay, then so come up with these options, and then Peter will pick the best option, the best two options into his action plan. That is the way forward. Way forward, what I'm going to do in order for me to achieve my goal. My goal is not to be late. So the action plan is, okay, from now on, I need to buy a alarm clock, which will help me to wake up at 7 o'clock. At the same time, I need to review my evening matter so that I can sleep at 11 o'clock something. Come up with the action plan, the timeline, and this is how we come with this the action plan, and then the coach will help the coachee to monitor the situation. Oh, this is the action plan. When will it happen? Oh, I'll try to do it. Maybe give me a week for me to adjust my body clock. So can you give me 1 week time? Those the timeline is okay. By next week, I'll be able to achieve this goal. So the coach will follow up with the coachee to see if he is able to achieve the goal at the end. Or along the way, are there any hiccups? If there is any hiccups, we might need another session or maybe another conversation. Okay, so this is how we complete this growth model. So the growth model is G, we have the goal that we want to achieve. R is what is the current situation? Where are we at? If we don't know where are we at, we are not able to know what we want to do, what we want to go next. Okay, so what are we at? This is reality. And then all final options. What are the options for me to achieve my goal? What are the options to tackle the existing challenges? And lastly is the way forward. What is my action plan in order to make it happen for me? Okay, so this is a very simple one, but at the same time very effective. Okay, so questions so far? All clear about this model, GROW? All clear? Okay, so next would be, what is the coaching process then? For the whole process, GROW. Okay, so I think at the beginning, we need the coachee to go through this self-discovery journey. Because for the coach, they are not going to tell them how to do it. What are the options? What is the action plan? Is all coach basically use powerful questions to help the coachee to come up with their options, even the action items. Okay, so we use powerful questions and we use active listening to listen to them in order to help them to go through this self-discovery journey. So in this self-discovery journey, the coachee needs to know, oh, I need to rectify the situation. Oh, okay. So this is the current situation that I'm doing. I've never thought of that. I've never thought that waking up at 8:30 is no good for me. So it's a self-discovery journey for the coachee to come up with their options and even their action. And it's all from the coachee perspective. And of course, the coachee have to see the difference between the current situation and the ideal situation. If I'm not late, then I won't be in trouble. I will not be having this coaching session. I will not be receiving verbal warnings from my department head. If I'm not late, colleagues will not complain about me being late for maybe 15 minutes a day, and they have to take over the 15 minutes work for me. Okay, so the coaching needs to know about the current situation and also the ideal situation. And as a coach, we need to ask powerful questions in order to help them to come up with their own options and eventually action. So we are going to share with you, I'm going to share with you some of these powerful questions, okay? And then solution discovery. Again, the solution is from the coachee. So use your active listening skills and powerful questions for the coachee to discover his or her own solutions. And of course, and then come with the action plan. Follow-up and support is from the coach, because the coach has to follow up at a certain time to see how good or what's the status of the action item. If any support need to kick in. So this is the whole process of the coaching. Make the coachee discover it by himself, no matter about the current situation, options, even the action plan. For the coach, we use active listening skills and powerful questions for them to complete this whole process. Okay, questions? Okay, so let me share with you some of the coaching skills. I keep on saying listening, powerful questions. Here comes some of the skills that we can adopt in a coaching session, okay? Again, it's all about listening. Nowadays, we all talk about empathetic listening. Can anybody tell me what's meant by empathetic listening? Anyone can tell me what's meant by empathetic listening? Anyone? Like Alan? Any idea?
It's like putting yourself in someone else's shoes, feeling what that person is feeling.
Then how does it work? Example?
Example, here I'll just give you what we're doing right now. What we have, we call it HDI. It's like a Department of Head Immersion. So, for example, I am from HR. So every department heads, there's a certain month that we will go to engineering. So we will be there for 3 days. We will be I will no longer be an HR manager, so I will be with the engineering. On the day, I will wear the uniform of an engineer or a technician or a chief engineer. So basically doing what the engineer is doing. By doing that, you'll be able to see what they're doing, and then you'll be able to feel what are their challenges as a department. Yeah, for example, and then last month we all did in kitchen. So different days. So for a month, different department heads are scheduled to go to a kitchen department. So whatever they will be assigned to a certain section, to a certain, for example, in a bakery. So as a baker, you will learn how to make the croissant or something like that. So at least by that, you're able to, okay, this is how it's hard to make the croissant or whatever the challenges of the executive chef in that department.
Okay, good. Any other examples of empathetic listening? Anyone? Like Charu?
I just think that he's being conscious not to have any judgment, but rather to really listen to what the person have to say, what the person feels like with all that is happening. And then really taking a third party perspective and like, yeah.
Yeah, very true, very true. Thank you, Charu. Yeah, basically, I think for empathetic listening is we are very focused on what they talk about. Because you know what, in a session, if somebody talk to you, but you are typing something on your laptop, do you think you're respecting that person? Do you think you will be listening a lot of stuff from that person? Certainly not, right? So basically, it's all about them in the session. Let me share with you a story about Oprah Winfrey. Have you ever heard of her name? Oprah Winfrey, very famous interviewer, very successful lady. She's from the States, and she's able to interview a lot of celebrities in the world. A lot of even they're the presidents of different countries. A lot of the movie stars, the top movie stars. All of them, I think most of them are her interviewees. Okay, and you know what? Something funny about this interview is that when this interviewee, right, is interviewed by another interviewer, he or she, the celebrity, tend not to give out a lot of things, give a lot of sort of the secret to the interviewer. But Oprah Winfrey is able to let the people tell her something that they were not prepared to do it. She has this kind of talent. And then in one of the interviews, she just disclosed her secret of getting people to tell her more. The secret of connection. You'll talk about everyone communicates or feel connects, right? We communicate every day, but can we connect with them? How can we people feel good about us, and then subsequently tell us more about them? Okay, so for Oprah Winfrey, he has this kind of traits, which which help her to get a lot of sort of the secret, something that this interviewer will never tell anyone. Interviewer will never tell anyone, but she's the one who is able to make them tell her. What's the secret? Can anybody tell me? Make a guess. Anyone? Michael, would like to make a guess on what secret that she used in all her interviews? Michael, would like to give a guess? Michael, you here?
Oh, yes.
Would you like to make a guess?
Listening is one. No, I don't think I can.
Okay. Anybody would like to make a guess before I disclose her secret to you? Anyone? P, would like to try? P?
No, I can guess.
Yeah, make a guess. Oh, you can't guess. Or you can. Yeah, go ahead, but you have muted yourself.
I can't guess. I can't guess.
Oh, you can't. Okay, anyone? Charu, would like to give a try? No? Yes?
Not sure. Make the person comfortable enough to talk. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, let me disclose to you her secret. Her secret is her eye contact. And this is also very important when we do an empathetic listening. When she looked into the eyes of the coachee, she's telling the coachee, she used her eyes to tell the coachee that I'm here to listen to you. It's all about you. How many of you will we look into the eyes of the other person? Sometimes you feel embarrassed, right? Wow, when I look at you into your eyes, wow, I don't feel comfortable. But it really depends. In a coaching session, in an interviewer, he always uses his eyes to look into the eyes of the coachee. And the coachee will think that, wow, you can read my mind, or you really care about me. It's a kind of feelings, right? So that's why a lot of times celebrities will tell her something that they were not prepared to do. But because of this eye contact, that makes a difference. And with your eye contact, you're also respecting your coachee or interviewee that is all about you. I don't look at my laptop. I don't look at the ceiling. I'm looking into your eyes. So your eye contact really is very powerful. It's also what we call as empathetic listening. How do we know that we respect a person in a coaching session? We just look them into the eyes. And this is also part of the listening skills. It helps you to focus. Okay. Next is listen on a deeper level. Again, with the eye contact, when he tells you something a bit superficial, you go further, dig further. If he's willing to disclose more to you, then it also implies that the person trusts you. So again, relationship thing. And then focus on listening. Again, focus is the key. By looking into the eyes of that person. Active listening. Again, we talk about manage our body language. Eye contact is one of our body language, right? And ask for clarification if you don't understand. Something that you might not sure whether this is what he or she means. And lastly, summarize and paraphrase. This is very important. Can anybody tell me why this is extra important in a coaching session? Summarize and paraphrase. Anybody can share? Alan, can you share?
I think by summarizing it in your way, at least it's like you having a recap of what you just discussed, and then also just if there are some things that not understood or the interpretation was different at when it's corrected at this one, and then before you close or before you end the session.
Yeah, this is actually to check for understanding. In the summary and paraphrasing, you are just trying to tell, oh, this is what I understood. Is there anything that I missed out? Is there anything that I've interpreted wrongly? Please tell me. This is very important. And this is also a very good training for anyone to be an active listener. If you really want to train your active listening skills, always paraphrase and summarize what you have heard so far. If somehow in the course of the conversation, your mind has drifted off, there's no way that you can summarize it. Because you don't know something halfway through, right? So you are just telling yourself, train yourself, because I need to do a summary. I need to be focused. I want to learn from Oprah Winfrey that I look into your eyes. It also help me to be focused, right? By focusing on you, I'm here to help you, to support you. So I will be getting most from our conversation or from your sharing. And this is a summary. And this is how we help ourselves to train up as an active listener. Start with mindset. About you, not me. I'm here for you. Look at him, look into his eyes. Focus on him. Listen to him. Do a summary at the end. So I think it's not just in a coaching session. You can apply in your meetings, in your conversation with anybody. This is an excellent practice to train you up as an active. Okay, start with right mindset and apply the skills. And doing a summary is an excellent skill to help you. Okay, questions? No, right? No, then I move on. Of course, in a coaching session, right, we need to set a goal, and then we help them. And one of the goals to help them to elevate their skills, improve their performance, and also prepare them for work at a different level. It can be one of the goals of the session. And also, as a coach, we participate, we give them questions, ask powerful questions to help them in this goal setting process, connect the individual goal to the big picture, especially in the business context. The individual goals have to link with the business goals, okay, as a whole. And then keep the commitment alive, meaning that we need to follow up with them afterwards. Make sure that they really implement what they have agreed in the action plan. And of course, remain flexible. Can they adjust the goal along the way? Absolutely, because changes are constant, right? There might be change in the market, change in situation. So coaching might change the goal along the way. And questions so far about the GLOW model, about the skills in a coaching session? Questions so far? Before I invite you to watch a video on this GLOW model, because the coachee and the coach will be in the video showing this GLOW model. It's very clear. I'm sure after the video, you'll know how to use this GLOW model in your daily work in your coaching session, in your coaching session, or even in your daily work. Okay, questions so far? Before I invite every one of you to a video on this role model. Questions? Am I too fast? If it's too fast, you let me know. I just slow down. Or the pace is okay. Can I have some reaction from you? Is it okay? Okay, right? Good. Okay. So